and we are celebrating women all month long. YaLife Media Marketing, Reaching Houston, Promote Black Authors, all of our social media. We are promoting and excited about women this month. And today I'm super excited because a dear friend of mine who I've known for many years has done some extraordinary things in her life. And I was excited when she reached out because I love to celebrate. Everybody knows I love to celebrate my friends, but I love to celebrate those who have done some amazing things. And I am just super excited to welcome Dr. Crystal Jenkins. Hey, Dr. CJ.
Hey, Erin. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Dr. Jenkins, no, Dr. CJ, because your mother is Dr. Jenkins. So let's get that straight. And congratulations, first of all, for getting your doctorate degree. That's truly an accomplishment. And I watched your journey on Facebook and some of the things that you talked about and things, as you were going through the journey. How does it feel to be Dr. Jenkins and to be finally finished?
It feels amazing. I salute all my brothers and sisters who are taking on that journey right now. My prayers are with you. I'm a part of many Facebook groups where we just encourage people who are in the process. Those of us who've already completed are kind of like their cloud of like witnesses, cheering them on to the finish line. It's not easy for people of color to get a doctorate degree in this country. It's challenging on so many different levels, issues with chairs and programs, departments, and so on and so forth. And then there's the journey that they don't talk about, which is your life literally goes through hell and back during your dissertation process.
Mm.
It's almost like it's it's kind of like your rites of passage, I would say, with a doctorate program, because everyone has a story. There's not one person that's a doctor that can tell you something happened in their life, major life events happen while they're trying to just finish. So yeah, it's definitely a hard process, but it's great to see a lot of our people of color in that smaller percentile of educated people at the doctorate level in this country.
And what did you get your doctorate degree in?
So my doctorate, I have a doctorate of ministry and leadership and global perspective. So we spent time in different countries. We were in Hong Kong. We've been to Cape Town, South Africa. And then we were a part of being and working with Reverend Dr. Percy, who's head of Oxford, the dean at Oxford. And so we spent time there. It's an amazing program. It's not ministry focused as much as it's leadership focused, which is why I selected the program itself. It really helps with leadership development and growth and really getting a full global perspective. So we're looking at the financial leadership in Hong Kong. We're looking at various different leaderships in Africa as well as in Europe. So it was really understanding leadership and really the direction that we should be trying to achieve as leaders.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do your dissertation on?
So my dissertation is called New Koinonia, Rediscovering Community Through Online Communities of Practice. So it takes the theological framework of koinonia and combines it with the technology side, which is who I am, right? And understanding how to bridge community in faith-based nonprofit kind of sectors that are something that's already been done on the educational front, government front, and not knowing we were going to enter a pandemic, right? So I got my doctorate in 2019. So I didn't, none of us knew what 2020 was going to look like, but my research is definitely being leveraged in other places. I get digital commons updates. It's being downloaded quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure to seek some of those answers out to figure out how do we continue to establish and maintain community when we are federated and in disparate places, and with those who are on the edge and on the fringe. Because I think the community at large, due to the pandemic, has had to kind of grow into that very quickly and understand that. So I'm grateful to God for the forethought before it even happened. Like, God always knows ahead of the times. He's always ahead of the times, but it goes to show how he also imparts wisdom into his leaders and his people for us to be able to be those vehicles that can help bridge those gaps and provide preparation for the way of the things that are coming in the future.
Well, again, congratulations. That's amazing work. I always ask those questions about dissertations too, because I'm always fascinated to, it's so fascinating to me to find out, what did you actually do your dissertation on? Because it's something that I'm never going to do. And so,
Never say never.
let's tell you this. Master's was enough. The doctorate program, yeah. So, but I definitely commend you. And, in the midst of you getting your doctorate degree and going through all of that, you started a company.
So I started the company this year.
Oh, you started the company this year. So you started the company or during the pandemic.
Yes.
So once you got your doctorate degree, you decided to do something different. And so for those of you guys who don't know, Dr. CJ has a new company that she started, and it's called Transformation by Dr. CJ. And I'm going to let her talk to you a little bit more about it. But I'm so excited because, I love what she sells and I can't wait. I'm going to order today. I went on there the other day and started to place my order and then got sidetracked. I got so much going on, but I'm going to order today, and I'm a big fan of what she's doing. But yes, please talk to our audience about your new business.
Sure. It's called Transformation by Dr. CJ. I do hand-poured coconut wax candles with essential oils. So just quickly, how it even got started. Mm-hmm. I use candles for self-care. So my renewal for myself has been, post my doctoral journey, is to really focus highly on my self-care. And it starts with the mind, and it's all inclusive. When you get, when your mind is kind of centered, then your soul and your spirit, all of it kind of aligns. And so for me, candles is one of those things that helps me in that process. Beyond meditation, beyond spending time in my word or in prayer, or I love to drink tea as well, and there's other things I'll do to self-care. And so for me, I decided I no longer want to keep buying Yankee candles. So I was like, I'll just buy a kit and make my own. But little did I know that God had a whole other plan. So here we are in 2021, and I have my little kit sitting in my office. And I keep staring at it, and God was like, here's what you're about to do with it. You're going to take your journey of self-care, and you're going to share it with others. And it's bigger than you, which is so ironic, because Bishop Jakes just preached that message on Sunday. It's bigger than us. The gifts and things God gives us. It was such a timely message. Anyway, go check that out. But so I ended up making candles in my kitchen. I kid you not. So I'm in my kitchen making candles.
I'm just not even creative like that to go and make candles in my kitchen.
Listen, I started doing research. I started researching what scents do to the mind, and started coming up. God gave me the scent pairings even before I actually smelled them, so that was a risk, for sure. But it all turned out well. So there's a couple of staple scent pairings on the site. Serenity is lavender and cinnamon. Lavender helps with relaxation. Cinnamon helps with focus. So a lot of times when you're trying to calm yourself or, bring that peace into your space, those are some things that you need. We have exuberance, which is a citrus and vanilla. Citrus is helpful with energy. Vanilla is all about a mood elevator. So combining those two is what we call exuberance. Then there is Elevate, which is jasmine and vanilla. And jasmine helps with depression. And as we know, many of us, whether we're
wait, your phone, you're timing out. Can you hear?
I'm there. I can hear you.
Okay. Jasmine helps with depression.
Yes, so jasmine helps with depression, and vanilla is a mood elevator. So it kind of helps center, your mood is kind of uplifts you, kind of lifting you out of that rut, which is what we call it elevate. And then lastly, There is Clarity, and Clarity is a peppermint and cinnamon. Peppermint not only helps with migraine and headaches, but it also helps with concentration. And so that pairing of the cinnamon and the peppermint kind of bring what we call clarity. There are other new scents that are coming up on the site as well, and people have options to do custom, and they can just put in the custom based on the scent options that are available, what they would like. But yeah, the goal overall is to expand the business into essential oils and tea, and then build a foundation around it that literally fund grants and micro lends to Black and minority based businesses. So we wouldn't be your venture capitalist, we would be your jump starter, your Kickstarter. So a couple $1,000s to create your POC, something like that. So wait for me, I'm in the works of getting that worked out this year.
Absolutely.
As an extension of this, because I really believe in building Black and brown economics in this country and being the support. We can climb, but we're not supposed to climb and leave everyone behind. We're supposed to bring, bring others with us. And I'm a big proponent of, not just creating a trail, but leaving a path for others to follow.
Wow. So for those of you guys who are just tuning in, I'm talking to Dr. Crystal Jenkins, also known as Dr. CJ. And we were talking about her new company, Transformation, by Dr. CJ, and it is hand-poured candles and coconut wax and essential oils. To find out more about it, go to crystaljenkins.com, and that's CHRISTAL, crystaljenkins.com, and you can find out about any of these candles. I think it's really interesting, though. I've never studied scents before, so I wouldn't know. I never knew that this scent would go with this scent and that scent would go with that scent. And the peppermint helps headaches, that's what I'm so glad you said that, because that's what I've been battling with for the last year or so. So that is one that I'm going to order for sure. But for those of you guys who are into candles, which I know a lot of my audience is, please go to crystaljenkins.com and check that out. And not just, she doesn't just do candles, but she also have written a few books. Please tell us about those, Crystal.
So I've written 4 books in total. You can see a few of them on the back on my shelf. Mm-hmm. You can check out my website for those things. There's 2 I want to highlight specifically. One of them I wrote in 2015, and I'm not sure how well they can see that, but it's called Get It Out, Dream, Create, and Make It Happen. And it's all about taking the ideas and things in your mind and producing them into the atmosphere and manifesting them. That are given to you by God. He planted it in you, but not just for you.
Which you already did, which you just did with your company, not just with the. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it was ironic because you actually put your candle company together, but not just that. Now you're creating a whole organization where now you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping other African Americans and other minorities who want to get a jump start too. So that book is probably really key for people to pick up.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's about do or do not. There is no try. I know Yoda said it, but we're so caught up in saying what I can and cannot do that we're trying to disqualify ourselves. And a lot of times we call extrinsic things as dream killers when they're intrinsic. We're our own dream killer first. And so you can't kill something that you never, that you were never the originator of. Like, you're killing an idea God gave you. You didn't originate the idea, so you don't get the right to kill it. You get the right to get it out.
So why do you think people kill it? Because they're scared? Why do you think that we're dream killers?
There's a number of reasons. One, for instance, let's take Transformation by Dr. CJ. I can say, well, there's a million people out there making candles. Why do I need to make candles? Mm-hmm. Right? Why do I need to create a business behind it? I can just make it for myself. There's so many things out there. But not recognizing that when I was just obedient and said yes, what he did with it. We have almost 200 sold in 4 weeks. So again, wow. And that was with a soft launch.
Congratulations.
So it's totally it challenges me to do more of releasing things and not just keeping them in my mind. Because when you keep an idea in your mind, it almost torments you and it starts to agitate you because it's not meant to stay there. It's meant to be shared. And there's people waiting on you for that idea. There's people that have been looking um, for that missing piece or that Kickstarter element that you have the key to. And there's all these other people just waiting for it. And once you literally just get it out, you will find that you will be connected to the people because we're never meant to do anything alone. We're always meant to be doing things in connection and in conjunction with others. I mean, even this, if you would not have been obedient to do what you're doing, there would be no platform for me to talk about what I'm doing. So again, we have to be mindful of the fact that it's just not about us.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I just battle with, because I have a lot of things that I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but you just said something that just kind of was confirmation. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and he will send the people to come alongside you to hold up your hands, to be that effort, to be that support. And we have to be willing to let people come alongside us. That's another big part.
Yeah.
We're so busy on doing it our own or wanting it a certain way. And yes, we can be perfectionists to a certain degree and like a certain style of way, but be open to the diversity of thoughts. Even though it's maybe what you think is your baby, it's you just seeded it, but now there's other people that are going to come along and water it and make it grow. So be open to the growth. Someone's going to stretch you and challenge you in an area where you may think you have an expertise, but someone comes alongside and adds to that. Be open to allow those people to speak into your space because, again, it's new levels, right? It's maturity and going to new levels with whatever God wants. A God of excellence. He wants things done with excellence. So he's going to ensure that happens.
Absolutely.
And lastly, I wrote this book called Moving Forward, Experiencing Transformation in the Midst of Transition. And I actually went through a divorce and a loss of a child during my dissertation period, during the end of my doctorate period. It was very hard.
Wow.
And it was, what do I do when you're experiencing a transition in your life? You either take it as, if I'm going to let it be transformational in my life, or I'm going to let it take me down. And by saying that, I'm not being insensitive to the fact that there was nights that I cried and was just, going through the emotions, anger, frustration, all those things. I talk about those emotions that can take over, that create a cycle effect, and you got to get out that cycle. And so I would just encourage someone that today is a brand new day. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not promised, but all we have is the present of today. And I would encourage you to seize today, to give God a chance in this day to see what can happen. He can heal a broken heart. He can mend a broken mind and spirit. He can restore you and bring you to another place. I never thought 2 years later that the word transformation, which was spoken to me years before, would literally become a business now that I get to share and bless others. While I'm still growing, while I'm still being restored and God has done things in my life, it's big, again, it's bigger than us. So I would just say, get it out, whatever it is, no matter where you're at, get it out. Don't be afraid of people stealing your idea. That's ridiculous. Don't think about it like that.
Right. I'm never worried about that.
There's only one you. You know what I mean? So you're gonna think about a different way. But also allow your life to move forward and move from a place to a place, and let transition not bring fear and anxiety to you, but let it be transformational.
Thank you, Dr. CJ. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, I'm talking to Dr. CJ or Dr. Crystal Jenkins, and she owns Transformation by Dr. CJ. So if you go to crystaljenkins.com, you can find out more information about her candles and essential oils and about her books, both of them that seem phenomenal and that I need to pick up as well. She also has 2 other books on there, so go ahead and check those out. And lastly, Dr. CJ, I want to ask you, is there a woman in history or a woman in your life who has been inspirational to you or who has been an inspiration to you in your life? And if so, who would that be or who is that?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I have to give credit to my mother, right? Dr. Jenkins. She was my first introduction to a woman, being my mother, and she was a phenomenal teacher and educator, and she's the one that caused us to stretch ourselves and grow and told us we can do all things, we can do anything. So she fostered that creativity and has gotten us from a child. There was other people like Barbara Jordan, because I wanted to go into politics really bad. I never did, and I don't have any, that's not in my future. Like, Doctorate, I know for a fact that's not I'm going. But Barbara Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, I thought I'd own my own talk show by now. I don't know. But just her climb and her journey. Madam C.J. Walker. I mean, the list, I can go on and on. There's women that Cicely Tyson. I mean, there's so many that have made an imprint on my life. My godmothers, I would neglect not to acknowledge them. But there's women along the way. There's young women, younger women, who are inspirational as well. I just think women in general, we don't get a platform. We get 4 weeks out of a month to be acknowledged, but right. We spend 365 days of a year carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we still are, plunging through ceilings and creating new ceilings and making new inroads in our society. Not without partnership with others, but we definitely as women need to be celebrated and appreciated, because there's a lot that we take on and carry, and it's a unique blessing and curse.
Well, today we want to celebrate you, Dr. Crystal. Thank you so much for being a part of this segment that we've been doing all month long for Women's History Month. Special shout out to YaLife Media and Marketing, Reaching Houston, PromoteBlackAuthors.com, which we definitely need to get you a part of, and Urban 411. Urban 411 Entertainment. For those of you guys who are tuning in, this is Dr. Crystal Jenkins. Please go to crystaljenkins.com to find out more information about her candles and essential oils and her books and everything else that she does, because she does a lot more. Make sure you stay connected. She has a new organization that she's getting ready to help African Americans and minorities, so you definitely want to stay connected to her. Again, thank you, Dr. CJ. Thank you for being a part.
So and
I look forward to your journey and what is yet to come. And you always know, if you need any assistance with anything, we are here to support and assist in any way that we can. So thank you again for being a part of this special segment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.